on, guys? Thought I would do a quick video on the 3-drawer. They can also be available for the 2-drawer version of this box, but I have the 3-drawer. It's a modification to make things a little more secure in it. When you buy these things, they include these little plastic dividers in here, and they want to pop out of place. There's a place, if you look down in the bottom right there, there's like a little hole right in there where the bottom of this thing's supposed to, but it doesn't snap and lock. And these things, and you put stuff in here and you see it pushes to the side, they pop out of place, things get wedged under the bottom. And I found online replacements for these. If you want these to be secure and steady, then you need to use the other little plastic pieces that come with it that you're gonna slide into here. But the problem with that is it limits your space based on the size of things. Then once you get a couple of those in, it'll hold them in place, but it really limits on a drawer like this where I have a lot of longer tools, where I'm trying to, you know, keep pipe wrenches and some cutters, duct cutters, things like that. So I found something online, and I'll leave a link to it down in the bottom. It makes a big difference. These are metal dividers, and they're designed for these Milwaukee Packout drawers. They designed them for the 2-drawer and the 3-drawer. Obviously the 2-drawer has deeper drawers, so they do make larger ones for that, but I have the 3-drawer. So they're dividers that will either go this way, or they will go all the way across and slide and lock in, and they're firm, they lock in place, and you don't have all the problems with this stuff and them popping out and things getting wedged and stuck under the bottom. So we'll reorganize this real quick, show you how these things work. So I've emptied this thing out and I've put these dividers in here. I'm going to try that one, just one in the top drawer instead of putting both. You'll see reason why in a minute. I have some larger things that won't fit in this little space, so I'm just going to put one in this one. I chose to put these across because I have some longer items that I want to put in here, and I'm going to try to downsize this a little bit. This bottom drawer, just keep a small Sawzall oscillating tool. Those things are good for sheetrock and small wood, things like that, so I'll keep one of those. They're both Bosch. A Milwaukee drill in there. It's I'm not mistaken which one this is, hammer drill. So it came in a dual pack with a impact driver as well. I bought this Milwaukee battery charger. I have chargers at home that I recharge my batteries with. I keep a lot of extra batteries. This is that little pistol grip charger. You can plug into a USB outlet, or you can plug it into the wall, whichever one you want to do. But that's one to have just as a backup to charge a battery real quick if you need to. But I keep enough spare batteries that I haven't used that yet, but I did buy it because I got it on sale. But extra batteries, a 4-amp, you know, blades for the oscillating tool, an extra temperature clamp, which I have 2 other ones, but those are the Bluetooth wireless ones, and I've got 2 more in the closet at the house. If I need another one, I keep extra ones of those blades for the Sawzall. But that's kind of what I do with this bottom drawer. It's just for those tools. When I need them, I can come and grab them. They're right there. But this is all the stuff that I had in that thing, and a lot of it's redundant. Actually, I've got like 3 extra needle nose pliers, 3 adjustable wrenches, there's like 2 sets of side cutters, and I have 2 fully packed out Vito bags that have a lot of this stuff in it already. So I keep too many spare tools. I still want to have some of these things with me, but it doesn't hurt to keep spare tools. I've got I had 5 headlamps in there. I don't need 5 headlamps. I've got 3 rechargeable ones that are actually in the truck that I use on a regular basis. These were just backups, or just thought these are all battery powered. One of them is, if I'm not mistaken, this one's rechargeable. But some of the stuff's redundant. I do have this temperature probe that I keep. Comes in handy from time to time. Just plug it into your meter if you need to. So I'm going to downsize and get rid of some of this stuff. Some of it I'm going to put in there because I'll need it. I have 4 PVC cutters. I don't need another PVC cutter in there because I've got one in my PVC bag and one in one of my tool bags. So snips, things like that. Hole cutter for plenums. Vice grips. Don't need 3 or 4 vice grips. So we're going to downsize some of this stuff and we're going to reorganize this thing. So I also have all this other stuff up here that just, I mean, extra, not a bad thing to have. Reamer, inspection mirror, another coil brush, my flame sensor cleaner. Need to put that back on my bag going into the winter. I use that little brush. I've got about 5 of these little brushes I keep, with some extra ones in another box, which is right over there, that black one, which has got other hand tools in it, spare stuff, nut drivers, screwdrivers, things like that. But didn't pay $100 for that. It's like 15 or whatever. It works real well. You just have to put a little small piece of 1/2-inch copper down in here because the brush in this thing only goes about halfway through, so sometimes it'll push back. So cut you off a 1/2-inch copper piece, slide it in there, and when you put the cap on the end of it, it holds that brush in place. Works good for cleaning flame sensors. Comes in handy. Either that or, you know, a $100 bill if you got one in your pocket. I don't know why I keep that. That thing's worthless. Bought it a long time ago. Probably get rid of that. That's not going back in there. Keep an extra mini split adapter, some shears, bit for my duct hole cutter. This is what I use for getting compressors out, put them together. That thing's what, almost 3 feet long when you put it together. Easy, no reason to be bending over and breaking your back trying to get the bolts out of a compressor to get it out of the unit. Put these together. That's the bit. Get the bolt out, put it on my hammer drill or a regular drill, back those bolts out. No reason to be breaking your back down there. And you know, some keys and tubing, and just, these are my hex fittings that I can put in a end of a nut driver handle for, you know, Allen keys, things like that. So just odd and end little things that I've picked up. Extra set of leads for the meter. But anyway, we're going to get this thing reorganized, and I'm going to get some of this stuff out of this box. So we're going to start with this drawer first. Obviously, pipe wrenches. I've had these pipe wrenches for probably almost 20 years. Been using the same pipe wrenches for breaking down gas pipe, getting out gas valves, things like that. They will go right in there in the back of the drawer because I don't use them that often. But those are the only pipe wrenches I've ever had, and they'll probably be the only ones I use for the rest of the time I do heating and air. Keep some seamers in there. There's a magnet stuck to it, but a set of those. We'll stick that in this drawer in the back. Something I don't use on a weekly basis, but when I need it, I have it. And we're gonna obviously throw some sheet metal snips in there. A backup duck knife. I have a Milwaukee one. I think I have another one in one of my other bags. So I have 3 of these, but that I will put in there. Obviously, the duck hole cutters. Also, once again, something I don't use on a weekly basis, but when I need them, need to cut an access opening maybe to in a plenum to clean a coil. I can cut that out. We keep insulated 10 by 10 squares, so if we have to cut a hole to access the backside of an evaporator coil to clean it in a furnace AC coil situation, I can cut that hole with that, and that's typically what I use it for most of the time. So I will stick that in there, and that's probably all I'm going to put in the back of that. Don't know that I'll keep these on the truck or keep them with me in my box. Once in a while you need to crimp some metal. Maybe if you're making taking a starter collar and you're trying to make a splice collar out of it, you can go around and crimp the outsides of it. Don't know that I'll put that in there yet. Probably something I was carrying around that I really didn't need to have. This is what I use when I go and swedge a piece of copper. Hand swedger, Navac. Don't feel the need, at least in my situation, to buy a $300 or $400 hydraulic swedger and all. Now, whether it's Navac or Hillmore or whatever, I've been using that and it works just fine. Throw that in there. Obviously, I need to keep these on there for reconnecting ductwork, panduit strap, panduit gun. So we'll put that in there. Problem with that is it opens a little wide, so I may put a Velcro strap on it to hold it. We'll see about that, but it does go down in there. Longer screwdriver, beater screwdriver. I have one in one of my bags. I keep a spare one in here. And I will keep a larger adjustable wrench. We'll throw that in there. A smaller replacement. If I lose one, I have one I can grab real quick. We'll throw 2 of the vice grips in there, the small needle end vice grip, and then that one. Sometimes they come in handy for trying to clamp down on something, maybe squeezing down on a bolt that's locked and getting it turned and getting it broken loose. I have used these quite a bit, so I will put them in there. We'll throw 1 of my 3 extra sets of needle nose pliers in here, and 1 extra set of diagonal cutters in there. I'm going to slide this temperature probe in there as well, and we'll throw this larger tubing cutter. Do use that from time to time, but I keep a small rigid set in both. I have 3 rigid tubing cutters. The smaller, they open up to about 1 1/4 inch. Really all I ever use. I will throw that in there just in case. I'm going to throw this in there. I have used this quite a bit. Knipex, stripped out or rusted out 5/16 1/4 inch screw heads. Trying to get them out, especially like in reams or some of the package units where the collector box, the screws rusted and it wants to start stripping on you when you try to use a nut driver. I can grab down on it with that and turn it, break it free. I have used this multiple times and was glad I had it actually. And then just go back with new screws. So I'll put that in this drawer, and that's probably all I'm going to put in there. So there's a lot of stuff that I've left out that was extra that I really don't need. Maybe, yeah, we'll throw this duct saw in there. I've got that oscillating tool with the blades, that multi-tool. It's really all you really need at this point for sheetrock, but I'll throw that in there for just because I've had it for almost 20 years. I need to clean it, but so this is extra stuff. Yeah, let me throw this in there, this cable cutter. We'll throw that in there for cutting out the typical reversing valves, cut them and sweat off the fittings. So we'll throw that in there and we'll stick it back here since it's not something I'm going to use all the time. So these are all extra things. I've got these extra bits and extensions. I may put those in this other drawer. So that's really all I'm going to put in there. And this thing is solid. It doesn't bend, it doesn't come out of place. It'll hold these things in there a whole lot better. So now let's figure this drawer out. Alright, so we're finished with that drawer. Now let's get this one figured out. Not quite sure. Got a couple of box items, things I need to fit in this one. Got this section over here I want to use for the smaller things. First thing I'm going to start with is everybody remembers this. Boy, did that raise a controversy across YouTube about clearing out drain lines. With that said, back beginning of July, I was a little over 2,000 subscribers. I gave credit to one of the other popular YouTubers for giving me a shout out on a couple of videos, and I appreciate that. I did get some subscribers from that. Some guys in the comments let me know that they tuned in and subscribed because of that individual, but gave a little more credit than was actually due. The video short, it was a short that I made on using this thing and cleaning a drain line, and there's another video I'm going to come out with here shortly that's going to kind of explain the technique of using this. That short got 4 million views and a little over 8,000 subscribers from that. So everybody that saw that and subscribed, I appreciate it. Give more credit to myself. Didn't do that in the beginning, but anyway, that short is where about 8,000 subscribers came from. Go back and watch it. I use it. It works. You just have to know how to do it. I'm going to throw that in there. I'm going to throw my extra mini split fitting in there because they tend to get lost. I have one in here and I have one in each bag. Throw my extra temperature probe in there. My extra inspection mirror will go in there. They look small, but they actually come in handy. I'm going to throw those in there. Obviously, my socket handle. I'm going to throw this in there as well. My extra brush, that'll go in there. One of my 2 reamers that I use for copper pipe does the outside, then it does the inside. I'll stick that in there. I have razor knives, Milwaukee Cobalts that I use. Johnstone was giving that away for free. I grabbed a couple of them. You can always use an extra razor blade. These shears, I'm going to throw those in there. My extra bit for my duct hole, or my hole cutter in there. The extra set of meter leads, which that box over here that I showed you has 2 more extra sets of field piece meter leads with the needle probes in them. So I always like to have, if something quits working or I have a problem with it, I need to be able to have something I can go grab. And that's just kind of, call it redundancy, I don't know, but I like to have what I need when I need it. Something quits working, you always need a couple of backups. This wire brush, keep that in there. These extra hoses, which I have more of those in another box, but pressure switch hosing for furnaces. Having extra, you know, you find them, they're brittle, they're cracked, they're split, they're leaking, they're overheated, they're burnt to the actual fitting. You get that off and then you have a new hose you can stick on there. I like the square ones, I'm kind of partial to those. This is one of about 7 or 8 of these that I have, because you can bend them and turn them and they're not going to kink or close up on you like one of these might. In a tight spot, you try to have a short piece. Lennox is famous for that, having that one little short one, but they use the square and it goes right off the fitting right into the pressure switch, and it's got a real tight angle. That's kind of why I keep these. My Allen key, impact ready. Allen wrenches, I can either put them in my drill, which you really don't probably want to use those from a drill. You might strip out your fitting. I can put them in a small handle I have that's got impact ready. I can slide those in there. So those are one of my 2 sets of Allen keys. I also have regular sets of Allen keys I keep as well, but those work in real small tight spots. I'm going to throw those in there. That's going to end up on my bag, but I'm going to stick it in here temporarily. This long extension only fits in these drawers crossways. Unfortunately, with this in here now, it will not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of PVC pipe and strap it to this handle right here, and then I can just drop it right down in there. Because when I have all this together, I have another Milwaukee box that goes up here across the top, and then there's a couple of more that sit on top of it, and I just take out which ones I need based on what's in it and what I need. But I can run a piece of PVC pipe. I'm going to strap it to that handle on the side and drop that in there, so that'll be just fine. Actually, I can just lay it right across there. It all works its way out in the wash. Anchor kit. I'm going to stick that in here. The other box that I keep, this one is just basically washers and small nuts. Most of these I use, all these nuts in here fit condenser fan motors. If you lose one, you're trying to use a universal truck stock one. If you drop it, you lose it. I can come back and get another one out of this box. But it's got a lot of different size washers. And when I put on a condenser fan motor, especially the universal ones, they've got the long screw head on them. You're trying to get that in there and you're trying to get it to work. But the hole in the top of the system is usually pretty large that screw goes through. So I like to slide a few washers on there to tighten that up, make that connection more secure. And that's the reason I have that box on there. These are drill bits. Don't use drill bits a whole lot from time to time. I use the step bits and unit bits to pop holes in plenums, checking static pressure, temperature split, things like that. But drill bit comes in handy once in a while. So I am going to slide that in there. This is the bag that I keep the extra Allen standard and metric. Keep a couple of sets of those in there. Standard, metric. So 2 sets of Allen keys. I just keep them down inside this bag. I know where they're at. I grab this bag. I have both. I'm not digging around if I misplace them. I know they're in this bag. I'm going to zip that up and throw that in there as well. This bag, I just keep different size deep well sockets in there, 9/16. I have them all. I'm not going to pull them all out, but they obviously from the small size to the large size, standard size, different sockets. They're right there in that bag. I'll stick those in there. We'll throw these extra bits in there, extra extension, extra multi-bit. This is the Malco flip bit, 5/16 quarter. All the other ones I have are Klein. And this is the handle that I would use if I was going to use one of these Allen wrenches or one of these Allen keys in here. Whichever one I need, just take it out, pop it out, and it fits right in there. So I can use that instead of putting that in my drill, where I might strip a fitting out, an Allen fitting. They're usually pretty soft metal, especially the gas valves, but you can use, they've got the size in here for your suction and liquid line, got your sizes in here for your gas valves that you'll take out the tap right there for checking your gas pressures on some of the gas valves, which I've already told you, the refrigerant wrench, when you use that for the liquid line and the suction line on your king valves, the liquid line side of that actually fits the pressure taps for most of those gas valves. And then you've got the small one for your, like the train gas valves, where you have that little fitting that you just crack it loose about 1 turn, check your pressure, put it back in. So these come in handy. They're small, they fit in tight spots. I can slide them in the end of a little reversible ratchet wrench if I need to. So That's why I bought those, and I have used them, and they have helped me out a few times. I'll stick those in there. Then I'm going to stick this handle in there as well. That's the fitting that came off of that 11-in-1. It's got the 3/8, the square bits on it, and then you got the little magnetic. I just didn't have a use for that to be with me all the time, so I just stuck it on that. So there we go. That's in there. And that's pretty much how I'm going to pack this thing out. I just lightened the load a little bit. I don't need all these extra headlamps. We don't need those. They were wasting space. So we're going to get those out of there. And all these other things, you know, that just lightens the load, downsizes it. You can overthink things and stock too many things and have too many replacements. You don't need 5 needle nose pliers on your truck. You know, if you lose one, you just need 1 or 2 extra ones to go grab, replace the ones you lost, however you want to do that. But anyway, that's going to be a big change. It's going to keep things better organized. They're not going to slide around. They're not going to get shoved under the bottom and wedged and pop this thing out, because I had it happen one time with the plastic ones where they were sitting in there, and one of these tools got wedged under the bottom from kind of shaking and moving. They don't fit in there very tight, and it actually popped up enough that it caused my drawer to get stuck, and I couldn't get the drawer out. And it took like, gosh, 20 minutes to finally get in there and get it loose where I could get the drawer out. So these things are going to work a lot better. So I will leave a description or a link in the description where you can find these. I think they're going to work out better, keeping this thing organized and keeping everything in place and not popping loose and getting locked into positions where it causes your drawer to actually get stuck. So anyway, guys, that's it for that. Appreciate you guys watching. Like, subscribe, super thanks. Any suggestions, any ideas on videos, let me know, and I'll see what I can do.